All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here. We've had a fantastic day so far for the 7th season LAN of DCRL. We had a little bit of interesting with Big Daddy Epic this morning, not trying to let us play any games, but we managed to do it, and we're having a blast here. We're getting actually pretty back on schedule. We appreciate some of the sweeps up here. I know yourself was on the receiving end of a sweep real quick, but hopefully you bounce back, and hopefully the vibes are pretty good for you today on here.
Oh yeah, and honestly, with this new format, it's nice to know that we have a couple more chances to play here on LAN, and honestly, I'm just ready to get back going again, keep the ball rolling, you know, so.
Oh yeah, no, it's going to be fun. So we have seen 3 matches so far between Div E, D, and C. It is now time for Div B. We have here Parched and CAR-JITSU, and these teams are no stranger to each other, obviously playing in the regular season, but then during the actual playoffs themselves, Parched ended up 4-0ing CAR-JITSU with a dominating series to basically clinch their time in here in LAN. So it's going to be interesting to see how this rematch is going to go.
Oh man, and knowing that information, like these two are going to be pretty like head-to-head, I bet, you know, waiting to get started here. And well, looking at the bracket here, we see that, you know, Hidden Fennec first, Parched second, and CAR-JITSU third. So you are right, man. Like they've been like going pound for pound all season. And at number 4, it's Did he for the name? Am I saying that correct?
Yeah, did it? Yeah, you can ask them on your own time what exactly it stands for. That's been a very fun team and interesting. But yeah, obviously qualifying for the 4th seed, so they are playing the B stream, which if you guys do want to, I know we have it in chat, I know we have it in the server, you guys can watch it as well as if you want to walk downstairs, we have a couple viewing angles right there. I know we've got a lounge, couple party areas, I know we've got some big family groups down there, so we always love to see the family come out here. But yeah, this match between Parched and CAR-JITSU, again, I know CAR-JITSU, they've got a couple reigning champs, but again, it's going to be interesting. They've got some newcomers, but Parched with a pretty dominant season going 5-2. And again, such a dominating performance going into LAN here between Jado, Pasky, and Philandro. They have been a super, super fun team to watch. And I think now it's only fair that we bring in Parched to the stage.
Yes, sir.
Introducing the 2nd seed. They swept them in the playoffs. They're looking to do it again. It's Jado, Pasky, and Philandro with Parched. Directionally challenged.
I think that was perfect. We love that. 10 out of 10 to our streamer over here in Izor. I personally blame him, and he will be getting no Dr. Pepper later today. That's on him, though. He deserved that one. So, as we clearly saw Parched taking the stage there, it'll be interesting to see again how they're doing this one. We have a lot of LAN newcomers here in Philandro. Again, if you guys don't know, this man is almost as old as me, took his sweet time, took a little bit of break here, and then is back here years later rocking the UND shirt instead of NDSU. Not sure how I feel about that one, but again, so happy to see this man who has spent a lot of time playing in the NDSU squads back here on LAN. But why don't you touch a little bit now on this CAR-JITSU squad?
All right, so CAR-JITSU, getting the stats up here real quick. Like I said, pretty excited to see this matchup. And here we go, CAR-JITSU. So they're also 5-2. So we got Swamp Donkey, JD4892, and Xander. And honestly, these guys are looking pretty good for the stats lines. One thing I'm noticing is Swamp Donkey is demoed. He's leading in being demoed, 1.41, which is absolutely insane. So shout out to Swamp for taking those hits for his team. And then he's got JD here with the 1.67 saves. And
nope, I'm out.
I've lost K2, guys. I'm solo casting. My bad. All right. And then we got Xander coming with 32% shooting here. And honestly, like, this team looks like they have some pretty decent offense. And Swamp, like I mentioned earlier, he's averaging those getting demoed. So, like, I don't know what you guys have against poor Swamp here in this division, but come on, guys. Like, can we spread the love to JD and Xander? Like, come on. But anyway, I digress. Also looking at the shooting, we got 3.13 shots per game, which is absolutely insane. And then you got JD and Xander coming in with 2.5. So a lot of pressure from this team and a ton of just all-around good stuff coming out from CAR-JITSU.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here. We'll see. Again, this is going to be a test. If it doesn't work, I apologize. Again, I'm going to blame our stream. But I think it's time that we bring out CAR-JITSU and hope that the technology is going to work for us.
Introducing the third seed, looking for revenge, Swamp Donkey, JD, and Xander with CAR-JITSU.
This is what happens, and this is why I can never come upstairs and I have to stay on the stage. But regardless, we are still going to be getting a match here underway. Again, a little bit of a scuffed on the back end, but again, all that matters is we get the games up and going, and we love that the timing of that has to cut out the stream. Again, it's just sometimes how it works. Welcome to a DCRL stream where everything is scuffed, and it will always be that way. But again, actually getting into this match here, Paco, how are we feeling about these teams who, again, they're sitting 5-2. They both have the same record, but obviously coming into LAN, I think one might have a little bit more momentum.
Well, here's the thing. Obviously, Swamp Donkey is a veteran here. He is one on LAN, and he's been on LAN multiple times. Last semester, I'm not sure about the semester before, but he is a veteran here, and obviously we got some newcomers. So honestly, I'm going to play the safe pick. I'm actually going to go CAR-JITSU here, and I'm hoping this is a closer game. Because the track record for today has been
3-1, 3-1, 3-1,
yeah, 3-1, 3-0, 3-1, 3-0.
I'm hoping for game 5.
I'm going to be ballsy, say CAR-JITSU 3-2.
All right. I do respect it. I will say in the predictions, I have Parch actually taking this entire thing, so I definitely have to go with them here.
Yeah.
Again, I love seeing Philander on LAN. I am absolutely riding that wave and hoping he is going to come through from here. But again, it's going to be a lot of fun here. But again, going on your side as well, that Swamp Donkey pick, it is hard to argue that he will not have the biggest impact on this field. So we know from a lot of seasons past, right, if we can get demos on him, if we can try to disrupt him, we know he's got incredible fakes and flicks and everything, a very ground-oriented player. But this is going to be a battle, and again, the fact that CAR-JITSU got swept, they are absolutely looking for revenge.
No, absolutely, and like you said, we have that history, have that beef, and looking at this LAN Swiss bracket once again, you know, just how close these two teams are is absolutely, you know, crazy, especially for Division B. Usually near the end of the season, we see that separation coming out between all the teams. But for somehow, these two teams have been able to keep so close. And honestly, I'm not even sure if they consider each other rivals. But at this point, I mean, guys, this is like, you know, grudge match for sure.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. I know for a fact the crowd is going to be very, very hype. This is going to be probably one of the most entertaining matches as far as screaming on stage and everything. I know especially later in some of the Div A matches, we've had players as well as saying how hyped they're going to be on stage. Especially for a lot of them, it's their first LAN. We've had such an influx of players from other leagues. And again, it's so cool to see just a new, fresh amount of blood on the stage and everything. So as we, again, are slowly getting this one going. I know you said 3-2 going to CAR-JITSU. I kind of want to say for time-wise, because we're still a little bit behind, we're going to go 3-1 for the Parch side. But again, the fact that this is a best of 5. This is not a normal best of 7. Again, this is Swiss. So if they win, whoever wins here will be playing later today on the main stage. Whoever loses will be dropping to the B stage in that 0-1 match with the other B stage that's playing out right now, which I believe is the 1 seed and the 4 seed, which is, like you mentioned earlier, that Hidden Fennec and that Did He squad.
Well, and the thing is like the hard part about having this Swiss stage new to DCRL is having those best of 5s. It takes, you don't have as much time to get settled in on LAN, you know, and like that's definitely something that me and my team definitely felt is like once we got going, it was already too late because of these BO5s. So
that's the excuse, just on record.
Exactly,
that's the excuse.
you know,
just making sure.
Honestly, we had to save you guys time too. We're trying to do you a favor, you know.
Hey,
so.
No, I appreciate the B stream has been great just to have sweep.
Exactly.
Which again, to be fair, that is why I put those matches down there. However, for you guys, I expected it to be the other way. But you know what?
I know, right?
Didn't matter.
I mean,
Either way, it worked out here.
I'm as perplexed as you are, you know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but with that being said, it is time here to lock in and get our 4th match of the day with Parched and CAR-JITSU. And of course, like I said, we don't want things to work here. That's just what we like to
boring.
see.
If everything works, it's boring. You know, we don't have any content. But, I mean, getting this one started off here right away, you know, kind of a little bit of stalemate in the infield. But here we go. Philandro, as we talked about him, getting a nice shot off the backboard, but unable to capitalize here. And it's going to go back to the CAR-JITSU side. Or no, Parch, my mistake. Swamp Donkey gets a nice fake. We're just talking about, oh my gosh, Swamp Donkey. You can't be doing that this early in the series, my man.
We talked about the fakes, and this man, again, did you see the car? He's rocking the Mantis here, around 1, around 2, and that is dirty in the first 30 seconds. Again, we had talked about it earlier, what type of style play that we will see for this CAR-JITSU squad, and he did not take any time to show it come true.
No, absolutely, and I think Swamp, here we go once again, but Philandro, learning from their mistakes earlier, early Chow. It's going to go towards the side. JD with a nice touch to the corner. Swamp mixes the 50. Open in Philandro. There we go. Getting active early.
We love that here. Philandro getting his first LAN goal. And one of the things I love about this Parch squad is that they are playing, and we'll say, one of the reasons I think they're going to do so well is that their LAN play style hopefully will reflect their online, which isn't crazy mechanic. It's going for a lot more basic plays. It's going for some big hits downfield, the infield passing plays, which we saw a lot in playoffs versus the CAR-JITSU squad. Again, always we've seen a lot. Mechanics don't always translate to the stage.
No, exactly. And at the end of the day, it's all about consistency. Here we go. Paskey with a shot, but Xander gets a nice touch. Swamp Donkey clearing this out, trying to get hit off the wall. Misses it, but JD there to clean up. Just going to sit in the corner of Parch. Swamp Donkey up off the wall, has control. 50s it with Paskey. Paskey's going to wait here in the corner. Xander keeping this one in the corner, trying to keep this offense going for the CAR-JITSU squad. Swamp loses the 50. This goes all the way back to the CAR-JITSU side.
Ball going a little bit too high here. Paskey now trying to get a touch mid. Philandro waiting in third. Not sure if he wants to commit this one. Swamp Donkey with a touchdown field. Goes right to JD. Going to be off the wall. That's a miss on one. Shot is going to roll in. Somehow it sneaks between the two defenders. And Parch with a pretty poor defensive manage there.
Xander sniping it bottom left here. What a shot. And honestly, it's kind of like confusing how that managed to slip through. But you know what? We step back and we don't really ask questions. We just move on to the next goal.
I don't think CAR-JITSU is going to ask questions. They're just saying, hey, we got 2-1 lead, and they're going to take this one as Jado now, being a bully, gets a fake on one, but Xander's not falling for it. He does lose his boost, though. Going to be going off the backboard. JD, good touchdown field. Swamp Donkey still waiting in third. Philandro off the back wall. We see a pre-flip from him, but we see it cut from one. That's going to be going off the backboard. Is anyone there for the follow-up? No one from the third man. Paskey now with a shot. That's going to be on target. Xander, enough boost. And CAR-JITSU defensively, even with all these shots that they've faced recently, they don't seem to be too panicked on defense.
No, agreed. Taking nice control here, but oh my gosh, JD loses that, but Swamp with an easy clear out. JD off the sidewall looking to pass his middle. Nobody there. A little too far out. Jado's going to have an easy clear. Jado collects 100 boost up on the sidewall. Gets it out middle. Is anybody there? Paskey with a catch. Oh, Swamp has an open net. Misses it. Gets bumped by Paskey. Good recoveries there by Swamp. Good instincts by Paskey. This is going to sit here in the Parch corner. A little bit of double commits coming out from here from Parch. Maybe a little bit of nerves kicking in, but good recoveries. Trying to set something up. Philandro with a nice touch to stall for his team to rotate. Philandro, a little bit of shadow defense coming out here. Jado pops this up. Swamp has no boost to work with. No resources here for this CAR-JITSU squad. JD jumps and will clear this to the Parch side.
Touch now, Philandro. Xander with a little bit of a sidewall double. Going to be going off the ceiling. Does drop down. Philandro now opting not for turn on this one. It is going to be Paskey going for this one. Off the sidewall. That is going to be really awkward, but Swamp Donkey, that is such a good clear downfield. JD, can he get the touch? Can he find the dot? And it is going to go in. What a ridiculous counter. You saw CAR-JITSU again. Takes the pressure, and Swamp Donkey with immediate pass to JD, slotting that one under the bar. CAR-JITSU now doubling up their lead in game one.
JD with some nice aerial control there, able to position his ball perfectly in order to get that power so he can slam it home for CAR-JITSU, extending their lead. But here we go. 2 minutes left. Parch definitely has more time to come back here, and that's on. JD has to make a save. Can Philandro sink it? No, he can't. Goes missing. And Paskey there to play hero. Sinks the lead to
that
1.
Goes in. Swamp Donkey, not quite an own goal, but it's getting sketchy. JD did not expect that. And then the whiff from one. Xander with the whiff. It is chaos. But again, Parch, it doesn't matter. They get a very quick redemption goal. Again, only down by 1 with so much time here. And Parch, I think you can tell, a little bit nervous on LAN. CAR-JITSU looking a lot more solidified as a team.
Well, for sure, and honestly, that just comes out from experience, you know? Like, you have Parched, which is more inexperienced compared to CAR-JITSU, but honestly, they're finding their nerve here, and as that one's close to be on, but Swamp Donkey comes up clutch. JD has to play for the shot, gets a nice save. Swamp goes missing, and Xander able to clear this out towards the Parched half.
Chance now. Jado, not a lot of boost to work with here. Swamp shot is going to be off the backboard. Philandro is going to get a good touch to the sidewall. Who is going to be there to follow? JD facing the wrong way. Shot going to be off target. However, the bounce might be a little tough for Xander. Pass going mid. Passkey is there, but Swamp Donkey is so quick in the air. Philandro is up, gets a shot off the sidewall. Can he get another touch here? JD now free clear, and it really does seem like CAR-JITSU is having a lot of space to just get these clears downfield over and over again.
Agreed, and honestly, it's kind of boomer ball right now. Not a lot of control coming out, but here Xander is going to try to take an opportunity here, try to clear this out. That's not enough, but Swamp will put that back to the Parch half. It's going to be roll up off the corner towards the backboard. Jado with a great 50 coming out middle, though. There, JD there, but good defense here coming out of Parched.
It's a good touch. Passkey now trying to get it around Xander. Pop does go high. Jado a little awkward. Not a lot of boost to work with. Philandro as third does commit. This could be dangerous here. They don't have a lot of resources here. Swamp Donkey doesn't have a lot of resources here, though. Passkey off the backboard. That might be a free shot. Can he find this? He drops it down. It wasn't the angle he was looking for, and that was a potential open net opportunity here. Parch now still with 30 seconds left, still down by 1, trying to find their footing here in this series.
Chances here coming out for CAR-JITSU to extend the lead. This is going to be in the Parch corner once again. Xander putting this back to the corner. Passkey trying to control, has it on top of the car, doesn't have a lot of people. Oh my gosh, chaos here in the Parched half. What is going on? But Philandro puts this out towards Passkey. Passkey misses. Philandro's going to be forced to stay on this ball. Go right past it, and honestly, this Parched
Wait, is that open?
What time is that open? Why is that open? Jado ties it up.
I guess they'll take it. Jado is going to take the freeze goal of his life. We saw a crazy double commit with 3 seconds left. It didn't have to be that difficult. All 3 members of CAR-JITSU diving at the last second. I don't want to say they just kind of threw that last 3 seconds here, but there's a lot of threes on the board right now, and CAR-JITSU, they're going to be kicking themselves for just letting a pretty freebie in, especially in garbage time.
Oh, 100%. 0 seconds on the clock here. Is there any 0-second magic? Nope. Xandil put this down, and we have game 1 overtime.
I did not expect this, I'm going to be honest, with how Parched has played this game, which, to be frank, hasn't been really good. They have found the back of the net 3 times, looking for their 4th here as Jado is going to throw a little pot shot on target. Philandro now going to be going, gets beat out by Swamp Donkey. Passkey does turn, gets dunked, though. Swamp Donkey again with the long mantis, just going for shot after shot after shot. It'll be interesting to see if we do see some card changes as the series goes on.
Here we go. Xander in the corner gets a 1-flick high. Swamp there to capitalize. Gets a big clear down. Passkey is last right now. Has to play this nicely. JD with the 50. That's in the middle. Can Xander sink it? No. Passkey with another great 50. Passkey still on this ball, taking control. Xander gets it over Xander. That's going to bounce off the sidewall. Is anybody there to capitalize? Passkey still on this ball, taking his time with it. Jado misses. Philandro has a shot. Nope. Cannot sink this shot. And CAR-JITSU is looking to clear here.
Yeah, Passkey, though. There's not a lot of boost on that Parch side for a good 15 seconds there. Chance here again. That's going to be a double commit. JD should have a free touch here. It's going to be going high. Is there going to be backboard defense? Philandro with the whiff. Swamp Donkey gets a freebie.
No.
And the backboard whiff from Parch gifts a goal to CAR-JITSU.
Oh, no. And I think there was an own goal here coming out. Just trying to play that save. Passkey puts a heater on it. It looks like they had it on defense, but just some crucial mistakes coming out here from both these teams. And like we've said before, we're a broken record. I mean, it's different playing on a LAN event in front of a live crowd.
It is very different indeed. Swamp Donkey getting the MVP. He had a lot of goals here, half of them on his team. But again, I don't want to say it really did look great here, but a game 1, it was kind of a rough LAN game, which a lot of times is what we expect, especially for the first day. Obviously, as he's played more on stage, it'll get a little bit better. But again, Parch found the back of the net 3 times, and Swamp Donkey, again, with the double fake was ridiculous, and then getting the beginning goal. But still, like you had mentioned, a lot of defensive stakes, definitely a lot to clean up going into game 2.
No, 100%. And honestly, it just comes down to a little bit of panic, and maybe the communication is not like all there. And honestly, when you're not calming 100%, especially on defense, it's extremely hard to not double commit because you're playing at such a fast pace, especially in Division B.
Yeah, no, it's definitely hard to disagree, especially some of these players. Depending how they do, there's a good chance they could be, moved up or moved down in division. So again, trying to make it count, win it right here and right now. Philandro, though, is going to throw this one. Passkey, actually, I don't think he expected a lot of players to miss, and they're going for his corner boost. Now, Swamp Donkey, again, so dangerous, and we do not see a car switch here. He is loving the flat car, going for his ground plays. And again, you can see he loves to play poised and control boomer ball.
No, absolutely. And we've seen that right now, and not a lot of boomer ball coming out here, but this ball's just been kind of sitting middle for the past like 20 seconds. But here you go, JD has a shot. Xander, oh my God, what a disgusting redirect.
That is a disgusting redirect. I think it was technically already on target, but he says doesn't matter. I'm just going to make sure it was, and that is a great mental boost. Again, that is the best goal we've seen so far in the series. CAR-JITSU, again, trying to build off the momentum they just got from winning Game 1.
No, absolutely, and like you said, definitely a confidence booster coming out from this team as Swamp pushes off the backboard. Jado makes a save, still dangerous. Xander up for the shot. Oh my
save
gosh!
From Jado coming down from the heavens, spearing that ball into the ground and hoping to God it pitches out. Again, though, we're seeing Parched after getting 3 goals in Game 1, just trying to survive this barrage of defense. Philandro, again, that is another backboard miss. This is becoming a habit for him. This cannot happen here as CAR-JITSU are so quick to manage and get those counters over and over again.
No, absolutely. And here, CAR-JITSU holding some nice pressure. Swamp Donkey puts a floater on net to put him up 2-0.
Swamp Donkey, it seems like he is having the freedom to do whatever he wants around the field. Unfortunately, we saw again another miss hit defensively, and Parched, again, they just can't quite seem to get their rotations. They can't quite get their clears. They've yet to find their footing in this series, and like you mentioned earlier, with this only being a best of 5, if CAR-JITSU win this game, it is already, boom, your back's against the wall, and you're already on match point as soon as the series seems to have started.
No, exactly. And honestly, when you go down 2-1, it's over faster than you think it will be. But oh my gosh, here we go. Parch has a chance. Paskey up. Has no boost though. Will there be a follow? Jada a little awkward, gets bumped by Xander. JD looking to clear here. Philandro has to turn quickly, gets a pass back to Paskey. Paskey has a free ball in the air. See if he can do something with it. Swamp Donkey pre-jumps, floating with him, going for the reset, doesn't get it. Right, pops right out to Xander, and Xander will put this towards the Parch half.
Yeah, CAR-JITSU, they are looking better and better rotationally. Their touches, just everything they seem to be doing on the field is with a purpose. Xander, he's looking for one of those other redirects here, trying to go for a pinch. It is going to barely, I think, touch the ceiling and drop back down here. Jado now trying to get it around 1. It does pop mid here. Swamp Donkey is going to have no boost to work with here, but again, doesn't care. The 0 boost touches, and we see a shot from JD. CAR-JITSU are just playing with their opponents right now.
Man, Parch are struggling to have any sort of like offense here, and honestly it's starting to affect them. And the CAR-JITSU, they're just like whittling down this defense by peppering that backboard, and honestly Parch has to look for better clears to buy time so they can hold some offense.
No, that's a really good point, and one of the things you'll notice is a lot of times that when it does pan to a player on Parch, they just don't have any resources right now. They're finding themselves parched, if anything, here right now, but CAR-JITSU, again, it's clean, it's simple Rocket League, and they're doing such a good job of being able to throw the ball up and go for these redirects. They have the resources to keep so much pressure on the attack, though. As we see, Philandro unfortunately couldn't get one, but Jado is going to turn that one in. CAR-JITSU giving up the first one of Game 2. But again, Parch, hey, they're somehow finding the back of the net. It doesn't matter if it doesn't look pretty.
Here's the thing, you could argue for Philandro that was a fake, because it made JD awkward.
If he hits it, he meant to. If he didn't, he also meant to. That's how it works. Whatever he tried to do, that's what he meant.
Exactly. He went for it and it worked. Question. No more questions needed, right? Oh, here we go.
That's going to be a good shot. Philandro trying to put this one in. It's going to be just a little bit too high off the corner. Paskey with the shot, trying to look for the double. Again, not there. Xander has no boost. Goes for a low 50. That is such a smart play for him, knowing he's got support. Swamp Donkey goes for a shot. Philandro a little bit wide here. Jado now going to be taking his time. Doesn't have a lot of boost. Again, this is exactly what we've talked about, but goes for the mustard. Does get a decent amount of power. Philandro now as third man. We know he has no issues committing as that third man, but again, it goes back to just not a lot of resources to have a sustained offense.
No, I agree 100% with you, but here we go. Jado trying to clear this out, but he goes right back onto Xander, and Philandro has to make a save. That's still dangerous. JD coming in with a heater. Paskey there, though, to 50 that ball away. And it was open temporarily, but JD with a good cut. This pops right back off to Jado. Jado sends this one forward, and it's just in! What the world happened?
I'm going to be completely honest. We saw the Xander POV. I don't think that was going in. Like, looking at this, he's thinking, oh, that's going to be hitting crossbar. That's for sure hitting crossbar.
100%.
And it just sinks in the upper corner. And all of a sudden, Parched, again, are able to claw their way back, and they're now only down by 1 with so much time left here in Game 2.
See, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly why you put your clears on net, because you just don't know what might happen. Here we go! Philandro sinks that once again. The CAR-JITSU defense is practically non-existent.
I'm going to be honest, I am so confused right now. Parch find himself tied game again. This is exactly what we saw last time, just a back-and-forth battle. And right now, the score last time ended up being 3-3. We are definitely on track for another potential overtime.
Oh, absolutely, especially if we keep going the way we're going right now. Although Jado might try to call game here. Jado with a double attempt. That's awkward here for the CAR-JITSU defense. Philander puts another one on net. Paskey there. Oh my gosh, JD with a great touch. CAR-JITSU was in shambles right now, trying to get some sort of sense of order happening. Philander with the pinch off the sidewall. Shot attempt potentially. This is floating very awkwardly. Paskey playing it slow, looking for the 50. Paskey, Jado trying to put this one middle. Paskey with the shot. Double commit coming out. Philander's last. And
oh, Jado's awkward. He does thankfully get that corner boost here, but we see a flying Xander. Philander now going off the corner. This does pop nicely for JD. A great challenge here coming out from Parched here. Ball is incredibly awkward though. It does bounce mid, but somehow actually Philander gets an amazing touch on zero to stifle any offensive chance here. Still not out of the woods yet. It's Jado now. Throws this one to the sidewall. 3-3 again with the clock ticking down. You see Swamp Ducky again was going for the little bit of a skimmer off the top of that one. Again, you can't imagine he's got a ton of experience with that car body. Don't blame him for missing that one there. But again, 30 seconds and again, overtime is looming. CAR-JITSU did win game 1 in overtime. And if you win back-to-back games in overtime, I think Parched, again, the win is just going to be dying out of the sails. They just cannot seem to find the momentum. But as of right now, it is anyone's game with 20 seconds left.
No, absolutely. And if they do lose again in overtime, it's definitely a momentum stopper. But this is a must win here for Parched if they want to stay in it. But here we go. Jado putting this up into the corner, has some opportunities here, needs to create that offense, but Swamp gets it clear. Philander keeping this one in. Xander might have a clear here. This one goes high. Swamp's pre-jumping, looking for the pass middle. Xander's lurking. JD as well. Jado gets a great clear out, and here we go. Overtime game number 2.
Back-to-back overtimes here. Again, CAR-JITSU ended up taking game 1. We'll see if Parched can bounce back. Otherwise, like I said, they're going to be up against it and forced to attempt to reverse sweep, which we have not seen any reverse sweeps yet on LAN. But with what Swiss brackets we are playing today, there's a pretty decent chance we see one, which is always, of course, super, super exciting and hype. That might be dangerous, though. Swamp Donkey, can he read the backboard? Xander just about to go in for a second. Still not out of the woods, and that one is going to find it. Xander tying this one and getting a second overtime victory for CAR-JITSU.
Man, that has to hurt for the Parched team. Just an unlucky 50 right into the net. Well played by CAR-JITSU, but I mean, Kato, we're seeing some life out of Parched. I mean, they're not great goals.
I'm still trying to figure out how Parched is scoring 3 goals a game right now. But hey, they are consistently putting up 3 goals a game. Problem is, it was the exact same scoreline as last time, and CAR-JITSU has them beat just by 1.
Exactly, and the thing is like, yeah, these are close games, but the thing is like Parched needs to focus on how to end the game. They can get to that overtime, but they need to figure out how they can be more dominant on offense, because like we said, we haven't seen great goals out of Parched. We've seen them kind of like lobbing them towards the net, and CAR-JITSU kind of like falling apart a little bit.
Yeah, I will say we have seen some great goals from CAR-JITSU, obviously with the Xander skim and then Swamp Donkey with the read. And even JD, all 3 players getting some great goals in that game. They're feeling good. And then in overtime, as you can see, as we again slowly rewind. But again, the fact that Parched put up 3 goals in the second half, but again, that overtime goal, like you'd mentioned, just an unfortunate 50-50 not going their way. Parched is definitely going to be kicking themselves. But again, they swept CAR-JITSU going into LAN, so maybe it's only fitting that CAR-JITSU sweeps them back.
No, exactly. I mean, what a storyline that would be if especially for a first-time LAN reverse sweep. And honestly, in a best of 5, it's way more possible than a best of 7.
Absolutely, but again, I really need to see a lot out of this Parched squad because right now it is not looking too pretty right now. But there is so much life between Jado, Paskey. These guys have a ton of LAN experience, and one thing we haven't even talked about is Paskey right here. That man is extremely mechanical, and he has been stifled and hadn't really have a chance to even showcase his mechanical ability because CAR-JITSU has done such a good job to not allow Parched to get the resources needed.
No, exactly. And oh my gosh, Jado has a chance here, but Xander pops it up high. Philander's up, getting this off the backboard. Swamp Donkey looking for a clear, though. Jado looking to put this one right back in. That's going to waterfall down. Jado, can he read it? No, he can't, but Paskey's up, puts it off the backboard once again. And Parched will try to keep this offense going. They'll keep it in the corner, and Jado trying to create here.
Ooh, second man Paskey, a little bit too far behind there to get that offensive continuing here. Philandro is up early to get a good beat on Jado. Or on JD. Xander, not the best touch here. JD is going to be called into action here. Jado now trying to take it, but a good bump again. I will say, again, CAR-JITSU, every single touch that they're doing seems to be just like such a smart time here. Ball is going to be a little awkward here. Swamp Donkey, not a ton of boost. Still gets it around 1. Again, Swamp Donkey on 0 boost with that Mantis. I think people just aren't so used to playing this specific body style.
No, exactly, and it's definitely a longer hitbox. Speaking of Swamp, but he almost got a pop over Paskey, but Paskey plays some good defense. But no, you're right. It's like playing a Dominus hitbox when you're on 0 boost. You can get crazy flicks if you have the proper ball positioning on top of your car.
Xander going for the defensive flip reset. I like to see it there. Jado, 0 boost here. JD also on 0 boost. There's not a lot of resources on the field here.
Yeah.
Swamp Donkey almost getting a beat on 1s here. Still awkward. Xander now trying to pop it over 1. Gonna be off the backboard. I'm not sure who's gonna be hitting this one as Swamp Donkey was actually pre-jumping that one here. Paskey throwing this one off the backboard, trying to go for the sidewall reads. Again, we're doing for so many mechanical plays, but we just aren't seeing a lot of connections here. And I think, again, a lot of it is just the not used to playing in this environment. But still, this is the first time that we've seen a 0-0 on the board. The last couple games, it has had at least 3 or 4 goals in each game. Still looking to see who's going to break that deadlock. And that might be the chance right there, but Jado, unfortunately, on the wrong side of that shot.
Had a chance there, but unfortunately could not finish it. But Jado still trying to create here. Gets a nice pop. Swamp is up early to challenge that. Good challenge here by Swamp. JD putting this one to the corner. Little bounce towards the Parched net. Paskey puts it on top of his net. Will control. Gets a flick over 1. Looking to chase for a bump. Trying to open up some space for Philandro. Philandro keeping this one here on the corner. Gets a 50 here with, I think that was JD. But this ball is going to float here in the CAR-JITSU half. See if Parch can put the one in.
Oh, the ball is just floating there tantalizingly. Free shot potential from Philandro, but again, every single time CAR-JITSU is doing such a good job of at least putting a hand up with one player back here. Now, Swamp Donkey, not the best clear downfield, but again, a lot of boost. We see a lot of demos. Anyone there for the actual shot on target. Paskey in the corner. You see Jado is lurking for that follow-up, but again, CAR-JITSU defense does just hold on. Swamp Donkey, good clear downfield with 0 boost. And again, who is going to break this deadlock?
I mean, to my viewpoint, I think Parch is holding more pressure than they have in the previous series, and this might be a chance here, but Xander is there with full boost, going to try to clear this one out. This is going to go towards the Parch half. Nobody on the ball quite yet. Jado's going to try to get a 50 here, but Swamp with a nice flick. JD trying to put this one here for Xander. Swamp with a shot opportunity, but Philandro comes nicely, and Jado there to clear.
Chance here. That's a little bit of awkward touch. Actually, Xander gets it up and over Philandro. Paskey trying to drop this one mid. Jado, a little bit of awkward feels backflip here. Xander, not the greatest shot. Eric, can he find the skim? Xander going for the touch off the backboard. Going to be a little bit too far here now. JD back, but Paskey again, 0 boost. Again, every time Parch want to get the counterattack, they just don't seem to have the resources as the clock keeps on ticking down. Philandro throws that one mid. Paskey very smartly doesn't dive in as a third man. You saw the counterattack was on. We see a double demo actually. Philandro coming out with some heat here, but still with 1 minute left, we're still rocking zeros on the board.
Philandro puts this one towards net. Nobody in there, but Swamp plays it nicely, plays it out to the sidewall. Philandro with the demo. Paskey looking for the pass though, but no, Xander will shut that down. Jado looking for the 50. Not a great 50. Philandro puts this one high, floating. Swamp gets a touch, but that's going to be off ceiling. Paskey up very early, has a shot opportunity here. Philandro looking to bump, but he'll clear it out to the corner to keep possession.
30 seconds left. We might see a third overtime looming. We might see CAR-JITSU sweep with only overtime victories here, which would be incredibly rare. Again, Parch, though, what do you have left in the tank? How are you going to solve this crisis, which is not being able to get these goals lately? Ball in a tough position here. Swamp Donkey leaving this one for Xander. Does drop down again, going for a touch. Swamp Donkey up corner, but that is going to be a double commit again. JD comes in off the corner. Swamp Donkey is lurking. Might be going for a fake for JD, and he left it, and he did. But again, just a little bit awkward situation here. Not a ton of boost to turn. And if the ball does hit the ground, we will have overtime again. We see any last-second heroics here. Xander throws to the corner, and we actually, Jado ends up keeping it up here. He says, we are not done yet. Tries to throw this one mid. Paskey is up, but again, good touch, and this ball is finally going to hit the ground, and we have back-to-back overtimes with CAR-JITSU on match point.
Here we go. Parch, you are on your last life. You got to make something happen here. So far, so good, but Xander has a shot. Oh my gosh! What happened? Xander puts it away, and CAR-JITSU will sweep with overtimes.
The pain that we just saw with the feels backflip from Paskey. That is not how we wanted to end that one. CAR-JITSU off the kickoff with 3 overtime wins. That is something that is incredibly rare in this LAN playoff. But again, CAR-JITSU, again, they got their revenge sweep. That is exactly what they were looking for. But I will say, Parch is going to have to go back to the drawing board to see what can we do to at least maybe win in regulation.
No, exactly. But they did look better on that third game. Like they did hold that offense, but unfortunately, CAR-JITSU's defense was like really good that game, and just an unfortunate side flip coming out of Paschke to lose that overtime. But I mean, hey, down but not out, right? This is why we have Swiss.
I was going to say, it's kind of painful because this is the only goal. So unfortunately, on stream, we were just watching
we're just going to watch this over and over again.
Which is definitely not great, but there's only so much you can do. But as again, we're looking at this one, CAR-JITSU, again, getting a sweep. Again, they are the second seed, and they're definitely looking to see if, I was going to say, I don't know if he's heard anything on the B stream on if Hidden Fennec or did he, how that one is going. But looks like Hidden Fennec did, in fact, 3-0 did he. So right now, the 1 and 2 seed between CAR-JITSU and Hidden Fennec, at least as far as the regular season goes, they might be your heavy hitter favorites for this Div B LAN.
No, 100%. And like I said, man, like this is why we have the A and B stream. Like, heck, we've seen things are going pretty quick right now. Like,
I know. Hey, you know what? This is great. We're going to be on time here. Next match is supposed to start for for another half hour, so I appreciate the sweeps. And now that we're back on schedule, can we get a Game 5 at least? I know we got Div A next, which is probably one of the most exciting divs, and that I would think would be the perfect time to have our first Game 5 of the day.
No, for sure, and it's like that's our best division too, and especially with all these other guys coming in from different areas, like, heck, it's going to be a fun time coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, I will say prediction was very, very wrong. I thought PARCHED was going to win. You thought it was going to Game 5. And, again, it's so hard because it's like, oh, it's a 3-0 sweep. But if you actually look at it, we had back-to-back-to-back overtimes. So I don't really know. It's like, how much do you want to take as far as, like, hey, we lost, 3-0, but you lost 3 overtimes. If any goals go differently, it's a completely different ball game. So, yes, CAR-JITSU swept and they looked better. But as far as the score line, it's a pretty close game.
Well, no, exactly, and like you were saying, like them being able to take it to overtime every single game that just means they're just a couple steps off away from CAR-JITSU. It's like if they could have adjusted like something, if they could fix just that one thing, they're right there with. We'll swap out real quick, Indy. We'll get our little. Just say I thought you were going to be coming in this way. That's why I sat over here. But regardless, you ended up getting your. Hold on, let me just. Oh yeah, I can't try in there, but Mr. Swamp Donkey, a couple questions for you. Obviously, you guys ended up getting the sweep. Was it a little bit of a revenge match, considering that they swept you guys to make LAN at all, or was that throwing out LAN completely different series?
No, we didn't care at all.
Fair enough. I love to hear that. So, 3 back-to-back overtime victories. You kind of want to walk me through that, especially with obviously a very unfortunate way to end that series.
Yeah, so like we went up 3-0 in game 1. We're like, yeah, we got to make it entertaining. Gave them a few free ones. And then we couldn't lock in before OT. So we had to win in overtime.
And you just had to do that back to back. Okay, no, that's fair. I get it. I understand that. So obviously you guys now will be playing later again on the main stage versus Hidden Fennec because they did also 3-0 sweep, by the way. So I was going to say, so now you've got both teams, the top, probably, arguably the top 2 teams here have swept their first match. How are you feeling going against the clear #1 juggernaut here in Div B?
Yeah, whatever happens, happens. That game doesn't really matter.
Getting a little bit of Remzik vibes on the interview over here, but I appreciate that. But regardless, it is going to be a fun time here. I am curious, though. Obviously, you've been playing with JD for a long time, and obviously with Xander as well. What exactly is the team chemistry like, knowing that you've had so much experience over the seasons playing with these guys?
We just make fun of each other all game.
That's fair. Hey, maybe it's just the make fun meta. Yeah. Just give them crap, make fun. I love to hear that.
I call JD bad 10 times a game.
Hey, that's fair to say. So, but with that said, again, I appreciate the sweeps because, again, we are now kind of more or less back on schedule. But next up, we are going to be having our Div A first match of the day, which I'm extremely excited for. So we're going to go to a quick intermission and set up for the next one. So do not go anywhere. We'll be back very soon.